Big news for the 49ers. They reportedly traded for Christian McCaffery, gentlemen. San Fran sending the Panthers second, third, and fourth round picks for 2023, along with a fifth rounder in 24, all to secure the running back. Christian McCaffery expected to take the field with the Niners on Sunday against the Chiefs. No time like the present, right? Shannon, what grade do you give the 49ers for this trade?
Skip, I give it a B. I think it's a very good deal for the 49ers. He's one of the best backs in football. You can make a case from his rookie year and his first 2 years, Skip, he was the best back in football. But then he was besieged by a rash of injuries. And that's the only question. That's the reason I didn't give it an A. Can he stay healthy? Because if he can stay healthy with Kyle's mind, the way he can diagram runs and get him the ball, along with a Deebo Samuel, this could be something very, very special. He doesn't make them contenders because they got too many important players that are out, Skip. The best offensive lineman in football, Trent Williams, is out. Nick Bosa, who was at the first two or three games, he was in the Defensive Player of the Year discussion. You got Eric Armstead, Elijah Mitchell, the left guard, Aaron Banks. All those guys are out. When you get those guys back, McCaffrey's on the field and had a couple of weeks up under his belt to get acclimated to the system. Then we'll get a better picture of who and what the 49ers are. But I like this acquisition. I like a guy because he can catch the football. Yep. He can run with the football. He's more than a willing on passing down. He can block. He can do everything that you want him to do. But it just goes to show you, Baker get there and they return the house down. Mm. The house was already on fire. And I expect Baker to come put the water, to put the fire out with a hose. Yep. And what did he bring? A big old 55-gallon drum of gasoline. Boom! Yep. And their shit blows.
If they hadn't got robbed in the opener, it would have been a different story. I told you they needed one game.
What you told me was Baker was going to save the day. Yep. And all he did was end the day sooner. The party was supposed to end at 4 o'clock. We've all had that homeboy to show up and end the party early with his bull jive.
Okay. This is not a Baker topic, or I would just shred you. I would shred you.
I gave a B. I gave it a B. If he can stay healthy, Skip, they could be on to something.
So I think your B is suggesting you don't trust that he'll stay healthy.
Skip, he missed 23 games. He missed
23 out of 33 over a 2-year period, 2020 and 2021.
Right.
Obviously. All right. Just because of the injury factor, just because of the shorter shelf life for that position, especially the way he plays it, which is all out.
Especially his first 2 years, Skip, 1,000 yards rushing, 1,000 yard receiving, so you got to get a lot of touches.
I'm going to stick in a minus on my grade, but I'm still giving it an A minus, A minus. I love the fit, the psychological, emotional fit. You watch this young man basically grow up around your locker room, coached by Mike Shanahan, with Kyle around your locker room and Christian around your locker room, because Ed McCaffery, the father, was a fellow receiver of yours.
He's a locker with a cross from mine.
That's a beautiful thing. That doesn't happen that often in the world of sports, where it comes full circle back to Kyle Shanahan being able to acquire Christian McCaffery because the Carolina Panthers fell completely apart and went straight to hell, and the coaches fired, and the owner finally said, I can't stand it, burn it down and start it over. Yep. So all of a sudden he became available. It was reported the Rams were very close in the hunt for him. Right. It is basically just an auction. And yet the Carolina Panthers wanted 2 firsts. That's what that started with.
Man, you ain't getting no 2 firsts with no running back. Ain't no running back give you that.
Okay. So the 49ers end up saying, well, how about this? How about a 2? How about a 3? How about a 4? And then how about a 5 the next draft, right? 2 drafts from now. And finally, that outbid the Rams.
49ers don't even need to skip. They don't need to have a draft next year. They ain't got no first, no second, no third, no fourth. Hey, y'all take off.
Okay, but they did have the advantage of the compensatory picks for Saleh and McDaniel and Mayhew. So they had 3 compensatory picks that they could throw in to sweeten the deal. And they sweetened it enough that they landed it. I can't go to Stolen because even though he's only 26, he's got a lot of wear and tear on his body. We had him on at the Super Bowl back in 2020, and he really impressed me because he's a sharp young man who takes supreme care of his body.
He absolutely does.
He whatever can be done, he's doing to try to stay healthy.
Right.
I worried about him coming out of Stanford because he couldn't stay healthy in college football, and you always say, hurt in college, hurt in pro.
Yep.
He just goes so hard. He plays all out. He's not a ducker and dodger. He runs through people. And if you ask him to run up the middle, he will try to run up the middle.
Skip, because you think about it, in college, they ran in between the tackles because Stanford has a very pro-style offense. But he had over 300 catches. He's not Derrick Henry.
No.
Let's just say, for the sake of argument, Skip, he's what, 5'10"-ish, 205 maybe?
Maybe.
And to take 300 carries in college?
You can't bell cow him.
No.
You can't just line him up in the eye and say, here he comes.
No.
They've tried. They were able to do it with Zeke in Dallas because he's 225-ish.
Right.
And even
it took its toll on him.
It's taking a toll. He's having a little bit of a bounce back, but it's not that much of a bounce back.
Right.
Because you're just not going to last very long doing it that way.
Right.
Emmitt Smith lasted because
he ain't taking no punishment.
He took no punishment. He avoided contact better than any back I have ever witnessed. This young man, not so much.
No.
So I fear that for him. But now we got the Kyle factor that you mentioned. Kyle Shanahan, with some help from his father above, he's got genius in coaching and strategizing the run game that astounds me. It's all what I call not sleight of hand, it's sleight of hand off, because it's a lot of moving parts, it's a lot of misdirection, it's a lot of creativity between the tackles where it's all about creating angles that nobody creates better than Kyle.
Right.
Well, if you can give this kid some angles, some off tackles, some misdirections, where he can hit a crease,
it's all about creating hesitation.
It is. Well, if you can maximize him with your strategy, that works for me. So I love the fit, and I love it that he's getting to go, quote unquote, home. He didn't grow up there, but he played at Stanford.
Yeah.
And Palo Alto, as you know, from where the stadium is, it's like 10 minutes away.
Right.
So he's going to feel back home.
Right, in Santa Clara now.
Right? And in Santa Clara. It's just right there. I live there. And it's a beautiful place, and I think he's going to be very happy there.
Right.
And the team is absolutely loaded, except for the quarterback, who's pretty good, but he's got a ceiling, right?
Right.
And the ceiling, he bumped his head on it against Atlanta, and they lost that game, so they've fallen to 3-3. But the point is, this is a move that I'm sure they're hoping will serve them well for maybe 3 years, maybe the rest of this one and 2 more. Is that fair for shelf life? Is that about what Christian should have left?
Yeah, Skip, what he have, like 2,400 yards, scrimmage yards his second year? That's a lot of touches. Okay, think about it. We got to throw it to you, and we hand it off to you. We're not just handing it to you, Skip. We're gonna throw you another 100 balls.
Right.
On top of the 200, 250, maybe even 300 carries that we handed it to you.
Right. And speaking of Baker, when Baker was at quarterback, it degenerated into his favorite target, almost as a wide receiver target, was Christian McCaffery, who was catching balls down the field from him. Catching balls in the end zone. Okay. So you've got that as a weapon added to, as you said, Ayuk and Debo and Kittle. I mean, it's explosive in a division that screams winnable, in an NFC that screams winnable. Nobody's emerged, right? It seems
the Eagles, but everybody else, the Cowboys.
I'm just saying, other than the
yeah. But Skip, if you 3-3 right now, Skip, you feel like, hey, bro, we right in the thick of things.
Yeah.
It's not like anybody we don't see anybody in the West, we don't see anybody in the North or the South running away with this thing. Okay. Now, the Eagles, we see their schedule could possibly, but anybody else can be had.
Yeah. So I believe this was as much a Trey Lance move as a Jimmy G move, because they're looking toward next year when they hope Trey gets completely healthy after he broke his ankle.
Right.
And that's the ceiling rises.
Right.
Again, can he be as consistent as Jimmy G? I hope so. I believe in the kid. We saw flashes, and it was hit and miss early on. But they're saying that it's going to be the C-Mac and Trey Lance show going forward. And that's what they're looking. If they could steal one this year, that would be great.
Yep, they really would have hoped, they really would have liked for Trey to stay healthy, because you get better by playing. You don't get better by rehabbing and looking at the film. So what do you see here? So when they quit you, so Trey, what would you be thinking here in the situation? You need to be on the field.
You do.
And then ask that man, what were you thinking in this situation? Not have him laying up there looking at it on the film screen and rehabbing his leg. But I gave it a B for the simple fact of injuries. I can understand why you gave it an A-, but you're right, Skip. If he can stay healthy, he can be dangerous in this offense.
Okay, back to my minus. For some reason, the running backs who have played for Kyle are cursed. They're just cursed, man. And I don't know if it has to do with the scheme. I don't know if they're getting thrust into more dangerous situations because of the creativity of it. I don't know.
I mean, TD tore his ACL, but that was a freak accident.
Terrell Davis.
But Skip, if you look at the backs, so Clem Portis didn't get hurt. Mike Anderson didn't get hurt. Ruben Jones didn't get hurt. Orlando Garrett didn't get hurt. All those guys went for 12
Those
plus.
are all Mike Shannon.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So
but this litany of these, and Kyle's just been putting a bunch of no names in there.
You look at Mostert, he got injured. You look at Breda, he got injured. You look at Wilson, he got injured. You're absolutely right. I don't know.
And then Elijah got hurt this year. So it's been a parade of injuries.
They need to drink some milk or something.
I don't know. Is it just bad luck?
Maybe.
I don't know. So I worry about Christian who can be injury prone, getting thrust into an injury prone scheme.
Right.
It's dangerous. It's shocking, what's happening.
It is.
Yeah.
Now that you mentioned it is, I mean, all their backs, they stay hurt.
They just stay hurt. But I still love the fit.
Oh, yeah.
And if he can,